And welcome back to the Wicked Wild Podcast, a Pharaoh podcast for the uncivilized horror fans. And we are in finals week for John's Cageathon. This is the big one. This is the finale, the one that he's been looking forward to the whole time. You know, this is the one he wanted to finish up on. And this week we are all getting dragged to hell with our buddy John. And I'll start with John, our Detroit, Michigan representative here on the podcast. How's it going, John?
It's going. We're here and we're ready to talk about such a special movie.
Well, as is our tradition, everybody who's been listening to the blocks knows what my question for you is. And obviously, this is a road movie, so we're going to do road snacks. So tell me what your snack and drink pairing for a good road trip like this would be.
Man, it's so funny. You're surprising me with the question, and I had like a whole just a hell themed thing, but so I'll kind of cheat this a little bit.
Yeah,
Jamie,
do it.
So you can take a Well, I'm just going to say you'll know because you've been there. I'm saying you take a road trip to Hell, Michigan, and you get yourself.
Oh yeah, I've been there. Yeah, I have.
And you get yourself a little ice cream sundae because it's hell. Because what else are you going to have? And then you just get a nice cup of cider to go with it.
Exactly.
Jamie may have gotten ice cream in Hell, Michigan, and that's what John's saying. I forgot to even wear my Hell fucking sweatshirt. What's wrong with me today?
I don't know.
It's not working. So,
I think everybody will appreciate the shirt you've chosen, though.
Leave it at that.
Got some real street cred in the shirt, though, that she's wearing. For those that are just listening on a podcast version, our buddy is sporting her. What is it called? The Art Appreciation
Society. Clown Appreciation Society.
Yep. So. And as you heard, that's our buddy Jamie in New Jersey. How's it going, Jamie?
It's going all right.
So we've had this conversation throughout the block that John has prepped for us here. Mm-hmm. And now that we've come to the finale, you've seen them all now. I really need to know from you which of the Cage movie is sporting the best hair. Because he's had some looks.
Oh, God, hair. Oh, my God. And by best, we mean worse, right? I mean, I don't. So wait, I think I'm going to be between, I think oh, fuck. I forgot about the last one. The medieval. Oh, God. Oh, God. I wanted to say this one because it's like fucking bleach blonde. Yeah. And I'm aware of what I look like as I say this. But
and it's a dead rug. It's obviously a dead rug.
Yeah, but I
you can see the plugs.
But I also want to say like the dad hair too from Color.
Oh yeah,
is pretty rough.
The half pompadour.
Let's go with this one because let's say this one though. The bleach, the fucking let's go with this one. Is pretty rough.
Pretty legit. And then last but not least, returning from his wanders in the wilderness, we've got Eli up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. How's it going, Eli?
Listen, this summer, you may know me. I'm out there looking for the real truth for you people. Okay, things are happening. Things are in the work. Some dark forces and forest, and there's only one man who can stop it. So if you ever don't see me, it's because I'm out there putting my life on the line for you. Unless I don't like you, then whatever happened to you. But whatever.
We told everybody in the last review that you had died. So we're glad you're feeling better. Glad you're getting over.
Well, sometimes
what Dave said.
you know how it goes. Sometimes you just like you wake up and you're like, no, fuck, I'm dead. And so then you're like, I gotta ride this out. Hopefully, I feel better. When I say feel better,
for the best the next day,
come back to life. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it doesn't.
Break out of hell, maybe.
Exactly.
Well, driving real fast. Some may say driving angry. It's whatever. Yeah, it's whatever.
Sweet.
So in this movie, Milton's coup de grace was drinking beer out of his enemy's skull. So I have to imagine that somebody with the power of the Mole King, you probably have a planned ultimate triumphant gesture. Against your enemies.
Mine are customizable. I'm going to customize it because, believe it or not, this may shock all of you. I have many enemies.
Yeah, and you've thought about this a lot. I have
a list. I keep details because when I get them, I'm going to get them. So I like to customize it to the enemy, right?
What about giving him an elf voice? That's whimsical.
Christmas elf voice.
Listen, Dave, I have my ending for you. And when I hit it,
people will speak about it in hushed tones.
The world will shake. the world will shake.
Wow. I thought the triumphant whatever was just standing in your underwear on your lawn.
Well, that's for some people. Like
spraying crap.
When aliens finally do breach the atmosphere, I don't care what position I am in at that moment. I don't care if I'm on the toilet taking a shit. I don't care if I'm getting dressed in the morning. I will be running out to scream in my yard, I told you so, in whatever state I'm in. And at that point, I just have to think the police aren't coming because there's bigger problems to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah, one guy in his underwear in the yard is not going to be a high priority.
Yeah, there's only a spaceship coming through the sky. Like, okay.
So on that note, we've not had an update in nearly a month and a half at this point. So Eli, you got to be all pent up.
Oh my God! Like,
serve you as we do with giving you a quick opportunity to share this week's Wicked Whisper.
The problem was I used to just like to look up this stuff before I go to bed tonight, just to, till I got tired, went to sleep. And now, since we know the segment, I look all the time. And, a couple years ago when I'd look, sometimes I'd go weeks without ever seeing anything of interest. Well, this year's the fuck around find out year because it's literally every day. Let's start with the fun one first. Fame 80s wrestler Hulk Hogan has recently come out and said 2 days after Roddy Piper died, his ghost called and left him a voicemail.
Sweet.
Now, he doesn't have the voicemail anymore.
What?
But yeah, that is what he's claiming. That's probably the funnest one I have this week, which I have to think like of all the people. And I loved Roddy Piper, and I have a feeling if any wrestler would come back as a ghost to be him, I just don't think Hulk Hogan would be the one he would call. I just don't foresee that. But hey. It's the supernatural paranormal extravaganza year. Hulk Hogan would have thrown his bandana in the hat with the lamest thing in the world. So that's my fun one. Let's get on to the serious shizness, shall we? First off, in the alien front, things are looking fucking bleaker than ever. In the last couple weeks, NASA came out and announced that they received a signal from somewhere they don't know where, but they believe is the deep recesses of space, measuring the wavelengths of the laser or whatever scientists do. Don't know where it comes from, so that's cool. Also, out of Cambridge University, scientists there are claiming they actually have proof of extraterrestrial life. They'll be releasing that. Nice. Now, if this was like, I don't know, MUFON's online university, I'd be like, well, that's weird. But it is Cambridge University, which is, if I'm not mistaken, is one of the Ivy League. So, little weight behind that one, I'd say. A little weight. That's great. And then a scientist came out this week and announced that recently through his work, he thinks he figured out how to manipulate gravity on Earth. So
I saw that.
Who knows what the fuck that's going to mean? Now, a lot of UFO whistleblowers have come forward and said that the UFOs, they believe, use gravity engines to fly. That's how they're able to do the turns and such that they do. So maybe humans are one step closer to living like the Jetsons.
Nice.
Honestly, I think we're one step closer to Terminator, but maybe if we live that long. So that's what's going on in Alien World. Then over in AI, just because these effing AI people just can't stop themselves, they've already admitted that AI is beyond their control, but they keep updating it, keep releasing new stuff to it. But this week, many robotics companies have announced that they're now putting AI into robotics, especially because one of the major industrial 3D printing companies figured out how to do titanium 3D printing. So they're like, it'll make it easier for us to make a body to hold one of these AI units.
Sweet.
Literally the start of fucking Skynet. It's literally goddamn Skynet, except for instead of like Skynet's like, hey, we need some slaves to build our Terminator parts. Nope. We're like, hey, we're a bunch of assholes. You can print it yourself. So that's cool. And then also there was a tech expo last week where right now there are some, they're kind of like robots that they've been putting AI in, but really they can only like move their head and facial expressions, which if you ever want to do some nightmare-induced YouTubing, go look at those videos and see those facial expressions. They come directly from hell. But there was this AI who people were asking questions to, and it was all like, "Oh, we love humans. We're a tool to help the advancements of humans." Blah 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 blah. Well, in the crowd, there was a reporter who kept like trying to interrupt and get out there, and the AI literally told the reporter to shut up. So I feel like we're already on the right foot. If AI is now like, "Hey, we're humans friends. Shut the fuck up." That's great. Loved it. Can't get any better. It's literally playing out like Terminator 1 and 2. We're all going to die by robots. Like it's happening. It's just happening. And then finally, in like the other hellscapes that are converging on us, they're finding more and more prehistoric bacteria and viruses that are melting with the ice caps. So much so that it was released from this like the Siberia region where that seems to be happening a lot. Apparently, that's a portal to hell because everything that melts out of ice is death and destruction. But some people have died from diseases they didn't know what they were, and they only can assume it's from something they're catching from the melting ice. So you have that to look forward to. And then in the ocean front, the final little bit here, the ocean front, they believe they found some prehistoric reptiles still alive down there, kind of from the shape. They had a partial skeleton wash up on the beach. They think might be one of those, like if you ever watch Jurassic Park, it's one of those basically alligator fish things that are fucking huge and could eat a shark in one bite. They're testing it now to make sure, but yeah, so death and despair is all around us, people. There is no hope.
So are these creatures like from the inner earth where like King Kong and Godzilla come from?
Yes.
Well, they think
I'm ready for a kaiju. I would love a kaiju disruption.
You say that.
I do.
Until a kaiju steps on you. No, they're assuming it from one of these dark recesses because in the ocean, not only do you have like parts of the Marianas Trench we've never been to, but there's also the hyper concentrated salt rivers and lakes that are at the bottom of like the Marianas Trench that they believe go much deeper, but the salt content in these pools are so high, we have yet to figure out how to penetrate them to see how deep they go. They think things could, they think things could be coming out of there because with the various fucking waterfalls that's forming in the Arctic and Antarctic from the global warming and all that shit, they're noticing a lot of shittery happening in the oceans, and they think like one of the things is great white sharks are like changing their migration patterns, in which, you know, like they're going places they normally don't and like getting confused and going places that like normally is not hospitable to them, but they're like kind of like hanging out there now and they're like, well, that don't seem great. But yes, they think that basically because the water temperature and salt content is changing in places, that it's like basically through various other processes that these deep salt lakes and rivers could actually start getting pulled into the ocean, and whatever the fuck's in there is going to come out. So, yeah.
Well, to quote my good friend John, bring it the fuck on.
Listen, there's a lot of threats.
Let's get this party started.
There's a lot of threats and things I feel that I'd be equipped to handle. Godzilla is not one of them. I believe it or not, I have an answer for aliens.
I have a plan for that.
I have an answer for many things that I see. Kaiju don't got much of an answer for because they're basically giant walking nuclear fucking reactors that are 1,000 times bigger than me. Listen, I've watched the Godzilla movies. Besides those two little people in the lunchbox singing to Mothra, no one can do shit. Oh, and that one girl who sang to King Caesar, the saddest song to get him to wake up out of his fucking bell tower, just so every film he can go and get his ass whooped. I don't even know why King Caesar, one, how he became king, and two, why he even bothered. That's a different conversation to have.
Fair enough. So if you haven't figured it out already, we kind of teased it on the top end. Our movie review for this week is Drive Angry, another 2011. I couldn't believe it. I had to go back and confirm. Cage had a big year in 2011 because both Season of the Witch and this came out that same year and literally came out a month apart from each other, which was hilarious. So I do have our on the fly synopsis. I've teed up for his finale. I'm going to let John be our interviewee, and then one of us will have to give us for this movie, which should be very interesting. But, John, this movie is an homage to classic 70s road movies, grindhouse style road movies. Of course, we can all see that. And as our Motor City representative on the podcast, I have an important question for you. So what is the power plant you want in your car to take you through this rage-fueled, hell-induced revenge rally that you're going to be going into? You're going to go 440, 427, or 454?
Oh, I need all the horses. 454.
454, 454. All right, Eli, tell us about.
Knew it. I like that one. I approve that one. I approve that one. I approve that one. So basically, Drive Angry is Nicolas Cage, stars as himself, Nicolas Cage, who managed to escape from hell, which is basically just Shawshank Redemption, and to get revenge on his daughter who was murdered by a cult, and to save his granddaughter who was taken to be a cult sacrifice. And so he gets in a car, and driving shenanigans ensue as he chases the cult while he's also being chased by a jailer from hell.
He's the accountant.
He gets chased by the accountant who's actually like a jailer who's a haircut. Yeah.
You know what I love about that synopsis, and it has my full approval, Eli.
Oh, thank you.
You did not once mention or give any value to the one part of this movie that I hate the most.
Hyper.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Amber Heard?
Yeah.
Just the worst.
You didn't even mention her
worst. I can't. One, I refuse to acknowledge her till I have to. And two, I'll acknowledge her once in this episode when we get there, and then when I'm done with her.
Then once you
when we get there, she's in the whole movie. But when we get there,
wait.
Just gonna ignore it.
So on that, we are going to hand off to John. This has been your block, The Rock of Cages. It is in the books now as of this episode. So thanks first and foremost again for putting us through this, giving us this shared trauma, shared memory, shared trauma, whatever you want to call it. So tell us about your, as we've learned through this, your first viewing of Drive Angry, and what you think of this movie.
Well, this movie would not have been on the list if it weren't for Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
So
we can blame you.
Welcome.
So we can blame you. Okay.
I can't remember the quote. Jamie just said she liked it, and I was like, "Oh, a Nick Cage movie that Jamie likes." And I was like, I came up with this cage match idea, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to toss one in for Jamie. I've never seen it. It gives me an excuse to see it. Let's do it. And it did not disappoint. This might be my favorite of the four.
Yes. Not that it was a high bar, but
I genuinely like Colorado Space.
Your favorite. I knew it would be. Oh wait, you did like. You're right. Wait, you're putting it above one that you actually like. You're right. I forgot. Since that was the first one, I forgot that they got progressively worse after.
Yeah, and I had to create my own headcanon for this, and it only makes sense as a sequel to Con Air. If you watch it that way,
don't malign his like one of three good movies, sir. No. Don't you dare.
Oh, it makes so much sense. Like everything makes so much more sense. But no, this movie, yes, it was my first time watching it. I watched it. I wasn't sober the first time I watched it, so I was like, you know what, I need to watch this again. So I watched this actually.
You watched it twice. Nice.
The power move.
That's and
I was just like,
that's a choice.
It was a choice. It was a choice. But oh man, this movie. I mean, if they put out a special edition, I may have to pick this up so I could torture other people with this.
Wow.
Are you a serial killer?
I mean, they have to be a special person to get this, and basically, it'll probably only be Jamie that'll ever watch it with me. But that's okay. but no, again, I wasn't, I mean, this is, and I was telling Dave before everybody else got on, to me, this is like the first modern B movie I've seen since like the 80s and 90s, because everybody in it, except the two money people, are like giving it their all. They're sincere. They're trying to make a good movie. And they're bad. They're bad. I mean,
they're doing their best, and their best is a B.
So bad, it's so good, right? That's
correct.
So
I mean,
it's so good.
Yeah,
that is,
yeah. Like you can chew on the cringe and just like, just savor it. Just every last bite. The accents, the hair. Oh my gosh, there's 2 wigs literally in one scene. That's like, how did that even get on the set? It looks like I'm honestly
the guy in the church, right? On the floor.
The guy in the church.
He's fucking
and the girl that was with him before he was left to die alone, like also had an atrocious wig. Like hair in this movie. I mean, honestly, Tom Atkinson and Amber Heard probably have the best hair in the movie. Everybody else is pretty much just a train wreck. I mean, and before I hand it off, I just have to say, in what world does anyone go in a knowing manner call themselves, I'm the accountant, as if everybody's in on this and they know who he is?
Right.
When you're from hell or whatever he is, whatever you could call
I mean, that is like, I mean, and we don't even.
That's part of this movie. So
he's great. Oh, he's great. And he's great in his own way. But just the way these characters talk about, like, like their explanation is very hand wavy. Like Nick Cage is like, it's like, you know why I'm back. And it's just like, so you get a get out of hell free card because a cultist killed your daughter. Okay.
He's just
all right.
Strong, John.
And I mean, they literally address it in the next scene. That's how hilarious it is.
Yeah.
Because when they address it, and she's like, I don't see how this works. It's like, I'm right there with you. And he's like, I don't even know how it works, but he just loves her a lot. Okay.
Fair.
And on that, I'll throw it back to you, Dave, to throw it to whoever else. But I mean, this is a special movie. Everyone should at least try to watch this one. I didn't say watch it all, just try.
I don't know if everyone.
It's like trying. It's like trying to. You're like the way you said that. It's like adults trying to convince their kid just eat 3 green beans.
Correct. That's exactly.
If you could just eat 3 out of these 11 green beans, then we'll get some ice cream. That's how you present it.
You can go to the Golden Corral chocolate fountain.
I don't think Golden Corral can save me here.
I know, and I might not be next, but I just wanted to John's point just now, where he said just try, and Eli saying like I feel like it, like you'll know in the opening if this movie is for you or not, and I'll get to and I knew after that fucking car wreck that this movie was
very supernatural vibes. Like I don't know,
blowing hands off with a shotgun. Like I knew this movie was going to be for me,
dude. And we got to talk about the restaurant scene, but please let everybody else get in on this.
Yeah. Well, Jamie, you are next, so jump in.
Oh, I am.
Obviously,
okay, so
not your first
part
watch.
of not my first, and probably not my second or third, unfortunately. But when I say that, this is one of those movies that like if I need. I've said this numerous times on the show, in life, whatever. I've always been do homework with the TV on, do things with the TV on. Like I have to, it's not even music. I have to have the TV on. So this is one of those movies that like, if it's on HBO on somewhere, it's just going to go on because it's like senseless, mindless background, like noise. If there's other things on that, I will pick over it, of course. But what I mean is, though, if I see this on the list, there's nothing on, this would end up as a background. So when I say I've seen it numerous times, it's like I've seen pieces. Have I sat down and watched it from beginning to end? This might only be the second time of like beginning to end. Maybe third. But I don't remember why I originally watched this, because by description, this isn't a Jamie movie. It's listed as like an action thriller, I think. I don't know, but you read it and you're just like, okay, a car movie besides Joyride or The Fast and the Furious, but they exist on a different level. I'm not like a car person. I didn't like what's Death Proof or one of them, the other one, whatever. I'm not into the grindhouse car chase, whatever. Like that's just like not my thing. So why I watched this, I don't know. That's the long-winded reason of that. What I can say is it probably like came on after something or someone else wanted to watch it. I don't know. But like once I saw the opening and he shoots off. Now, it's very important to note in Eli's description and in John's, no one noted that this movie came out in 3D, which is very important when you watch this.
How did I not?
It's kind of like watching when we did Friday the 13th 3D because it is so fucking funny. Or Piranha, which Dave and I love, but like it's so fucking funny because this movie opens not the open, which is like him driving out of hell. The opening of like there's a car chase for those who haven't seen it, and he flips the car or whatever, and these guys, and then he like kills them all basically in hilarious ways. But when he does it, things are already immediately flying at the screen or like bad blood CGI. It's just like fucking like the hand blows off, and it's so. Regardless of why I put this on, this scene happened, and I said, I'm in. I said,
game on.
Long for this fucking campy ride. Is this a good movie? No. It is one of those, it's so bad, it's great movies. I personally don't get a lot of these. This is one of those for me because I like Piranha 3D is camp, but I think that's fucking good camp. I wouldn't even say that's bad, that it's good. I think Piranha 3D is great. This is so bad that it's good for me. Like it's outrageously dumb. And it's like sometimes you just need outrageously dumb. It makes no fucking sense. The plot is as thin as Eli described it. Like, and that's like, and plot holes galore, but like no explanations galore, but nobody needs them. He fucking broke out of hell. Who cares? He has a gun that can kill gods. Who cares? It's like, these dumb things that nobody's going to explain. Who cares? Everybody is over the top. The cult leader, Jesus fucking Christ.
He is chewing some scenery, isn't he?
I could just like it's. I made the comment and I stand by it as everybody's going to scream at me, Eli especially. I made the comment that this was the better Mandy. Because the plot is like it's like Nick Cage did like a serious version of this movie and then a fucking dumb version.
You know what I basically when you said that, Jamie, you know how that portrayed to me?
Think of the plots.
It basically what you just said was, well, this is a more solid turd than diarrhea. Like that's how I took that. Like, yeah, I'm gonna put shit in your hand, but would you rather have a solid turd or some diarrhea? Like they're both poop, Jamie. They're both poop.
Fair. Okay, fine. But like, but it's like, it's so silly because like, if you try and put them on paper, there's so many similar fucking plot points that it's just so dumb. But I have more fun with this one than I do with that one. Anyway, this is one of those, I kind of regret not seeing it in like a theater watch with friends in 3D because like I would love this. This is like, if someone could give me that double feature of Piranha and Drive Angry so I could just sit there and watch these because I never got to do them in 3D. My God. I don't remember like back in COVID, you could rent out a theater for friends. Yeah. Like
you still can here.
Can you pick the movie or you can only pick movies that are playing? Because John, I've got something for you. I've got a double feature for you.
That's a good question. Well, we can look into that.
All right. I mean,
don't invite me because if you do, that you'll be the first instance of a man kills himself by sneaking out the concession and pouring boiling hot nacho cheese down his throat until he died.
Two inoffensive movies.
Okay.
Yes. In 3D. Anyway, yes. So I'm long-winded. Like it's known on this podcast. I brought up this movie many times. John did put it as the end for me. I am not shy about the fact that I like this is so bad it's good to me. Again, it's not a good movie. Everything about it is bad, but it's like fucking entertaining and stupid. And William Fichtner, however you say his fucking last name, is like also so dumbly bad but hilarious. His lines in this, the accountant's lines are so goddamn dumb that they borderline genius. Like that's where we're at.
Yeah, he definitely got the assignment that this was a grindhouse B.
Oh my God, he is perfect. Like he's just perfect. Anyway, I could go on and on and on. And the her boyfriend who dies is also a big horror dude that his name escapes me if anybody could jump in there, right? He's like a director and he's in things like, he was Jason X maybe, or he made Jason X. He's something to do with Jason X. Yeah. He's a big, he is a big horror dude, like director and actor. Just for funsies. Yes.
I have to look that guy.
I'm like doing it like right now while I stall, but like, because I know his name, Todd Farmer. So
he's also one of the writers of this then. Yeah.
Yes, writer. Sorry, not director, but he's a writer of a lot of things. Jason X, My Bloody Valentine.
Okay.
A bunch of other things.
You notice that list. Just you notice it just as she's saying it. Like, pay attention to that list because that just kind of tells you.
I love My Bloody Valentine 3D. I saw that in theaters. That's one of the ones I did get to see in theaters and had a fucking blast because it was in 3D and it was so much fun. Anyway. End of my love for Drive Angry. And when I say love, I use love and hate. Anybody who knows me now, we're in season 3. I use both those words pretty easily when I don't actually read them. Like, I hate everything and I love everything. So you only go in 2 basic, or then I go, it's fine. But this is in the love, but I don't mean it as it's not up there with Pan's Labyrinth or fucking Terrifier, even for that matter. Like,
yeah, to put some balance on that, if you just started listening to the podcast, in season 1, we had a rating system at the end of it that was fuck, marry, kill. And I think, Jamie, I can confidently say this is a fuck movie for Jamie. Yeah. You have to spend your life with it.
Oh my God. Quite literally in this movie too, which we'll get to. But yeah, this is absolutely a fuck. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
All right, Eli. It is your turn. Is this your first watch of this? What do you think of this movie?
This was actually my second watch. This movie came out right at the end. There was a bunch of these like kind of edgy action movies that were kind of like modern Grindhouse, but like you had Shoot 'Em Up, which is one of my favorite Clive Owens movie, Lucky Number 11, like stuff like that. And like this kind of came at the tail end. When I saw the trailer, I had absolutely no desire to see this movie, and my friends wanted me to go see it with them. And the way they came with me to go with them was they found a review where someone compared this as Ghost Rider meets Smokey and the Bandit. And I was like, all right, well, I love Smokey and the Bandit. Like Ghost Rider in the comics. I was like, sure, why not? And I remember when I sit at the theater, I was like, this was a waste of 2 hours of my life, but it, like, whatever, it's fine. And then I've never thought about this movie again. Until you sons of bitches put it on the list. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch it today. That way it's fresh. I forgot Amber Heard was in it with the worst fucking accent I've ever heard in my life. And when she popped on screen, it was voice. Like,
I thought that was just her. I thought that was just her
voice. No, it was a fake. It was the worst fake accent. The trauma all came back in like the first like 10 minutes of this movie. And I was like, oh my God. Like this movie to me, the most egregious thing I thought this movie was boring. And once again, I think it's because like this kind of came telling those, like, I'm like, I should be watching Shoot 'Em Up or Lucky Number 11. I love both those movies. I thought this was boring. I actually started cleaning my office and I ended up rearranging all my desk and everything while this was playing. Cause I'm like, and then I was like, oh, well, surely we're almost to the end now. I just Oh, there's 45 minutes still. Oh, okay. It didn't make sense. Nicolas Cage, like, I forgot also that this was during his fake blonde era when he like had the worst blonde dye job known to man. And like he had, like, before he let it grow out, he had the frosted tips for a while for all 11 hairs on top of his head. Like, I forgot that. Like, Amber Heard's the worst. Like, none of it makes sense. That cult leader, maybe, like, normally, like, I like stuff with cults. The worst cult on the planet with the lamest symbol. He had like 4 lines
so much.
And everything he was doing with this stupid fucking face, making these like weird face things and like weird hand signals. And also because they concentrate on like him, or he kept doing stuff with his hands. If you pay attention, because I was trying to look anywhere for anything, every other scene he doesn't have his fake nails on. So one scene he's got like weird Coke fingernails, and then the other one he's got no fingernails. So it's like, cool. All right, great.
Like fingernails are expensive, man. You can't have them in every scene.
They weren't. It literally looked like someone cut the ends off a fucking bugle and stuck to the end of his fingers. Like, it was terrible. At one point, I was convinced they were sticky notes because they looked like so flimsy and like almost see through. This movie, like I don't know. It was boring. I didn't like. There's not much I found funny. The accountant figure, like, And then there's this whole thing with like, they change what hell is 19 times in the movie. Oh, he's in hell because he's a bad guy. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, no, Satan's a cool dude. He's basically just a jailer. He's really thoughtful. He doesn't like child sacrifices. It's all fine. And then like he gets done. He's like, hey, buddy, why don't you drive the car for us back in hell? We're friends now. It's
yeah,
like,
I love that.
What the fuck are you talking about?
He tosses in the keys. I
Also,
fucking love it.
Why does hell have a gun that can kill demons? Like, what are we doing? Like that gun didn't even look great. It literally, like, when they do the couple like from afar, like, oh, that's kind of a cool design. And then they get up close. I'm like, what is this? A high school production of Supernatural? This is the worst fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. I just did not. And like somehow like the action in it got more boring the farther we went. And like that end scene was lame. Like it just if I never watch this again, I'll be fine.
I bet you won't.
I won't. Unless someone forces even if Nicolas Cage breaks in my house with his dyed blonde hair and his
he's got more hair now.
And his 40 years younger wife. And is like, hey, I'm gonna beat you with these Mongolian dinosaur bones we have. If you don't watch Drive Angry, which is a real story, he actually had to he bought dinosaur bones that they found out were stolen from Mongolia. He had to return them. You'll beat me to death with them. I'm like, well, then beat me to death, Nicolas Cage, because I saw what you did in Drive Angry and I wasn't impressed.
I'm not going back there. I'm never going back.
You can't force. You know what? I'm like Nicolas Cage Drive Angry, except for at the end, instead of like, which is the other thing, like he can't die, but he pretended to die. Yeah, but then he like,
can't die.
But like,
he's already dead. He can't die.
Like, he was pulling a crow, right? Like, you know what? One more tangent, Dave, and then you have one more tangent. You could tell with this movie, they literally watched The Crow at least a day or two before they wrote it. They're like, we're going to make this Crow-like, right? And at first, like, he was getting shot and stuff, and like, he was just like, oh, whatever. He like, gosh, like, you know, he's like, oh, I'm fine. But like, at least in The Crow, like at the end, what's his face gets like some kind of like supernatural power. So it like, you know, Eric's like losing his crow ability. That guy stole it. Like, it makes sense. He got the shit kicked out of him. This cult dude was just a fucking dude with a shillelagh for some reason. You ever call where you worship the devil and you carry around a shillelagh? Like, what? And then like he just beats on him. And like Nicolas Cage doesn't do anything. You mean to tell me Amber Heard saves the day? Amber Heard, who literally got like spent majority of this movie just getting the shit kicked out of her, and then all of a sudden she's the hero because Nick Cage, who can't feel pain, is like is unstoppable. All of a sudden a shillelagh is his weakness. What am I watching? Glass? Like, what is this? What is it? All right, that's all I gotta say.
It didn't say he can't feel pain. He just obviously can heal himself.
But like he literally got shot in the beginning. It kept coming like Terminator style. But you hit him with a shillelagh, it's a done deal. Because apparently that shillelagh's got all that guy Satan powers with his cool, lame, Juicy Couture style symbol.
That thing was ridiculous. That homemade necklace. My 9-year-old
with
can
like
make
twice. Doesn't he get stabbed twice with it?
Like, you think you would learn, right?
Like that is like literally that happens twice is just a perfect example of what this movie is. It's so fucking dumb. He gets stabbed with it twice, 2 different times.
He's committed to the look though.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, you got a brand.
So for Dave, I don't have a ton to say. As far as lead up, I want to have the conversation. That's the thing that I've been holding on to this whole time, that the conversation will be fun, because this is, I don't want to go into a rant, but this is my third and final watch of this movie. When it came out, and I think we've covered this on previous episodes, I really enjoyed what Tarantino and what's his face did with the Grindhouse movies. And
Robert Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, yeah. I literally had watched Planet Terror last week and really enjoyed that movie. And I watch Death Proof on a pretty regular basis. I love that movie. That's because I love the old road movies of the 70s, like 5 Easy Pieces, Deadhead Miles. I think that's what it's called. Vanishing Point, those kind of movies. I love those movies. And I love this renaissance that Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino had created with those Grindhouse concepts. Because you had a bunch of those kinds of movies come out after it. Everybody wanted to make their really rough sort of homage movie after that. But this one just doesn't have the energy of those movies. It doesn't feel like it has the credentials. It doesn't have the cred to make that kind of movie. To me, that's just my opinion. And really, that's all I have to say on the front end. I mean, it just, after 3 watchings, I can just say very confidently that this is not a Dave movie. That shouldn't surprise anybody. But on that point, let's get into the conversation, and I'll let John kick us off. What do you want to talk about first, Bill?
I mean, I just said it, and I don't want to forget it, but we got to talk about that restaurant scene.
Okay, let's go.
What do you think the direction that Nicolas Cage was given to be like, all right, this guy is literally just going to grab the server's hand and, like, I don't know, like, arm wrestle her while she's got a coffee pot and then make out, or like, what? I don't get it. I'm not expecting an answer, but I'm gonna go with that
Nick Cage improv again, because why not?
And if it is, it's genius.
Listen, I am thoroughly convinced, because there are some really good Nick Cage movies, and I'm thoroughly convinced. Listen, Con Air, first off, great. Face Off,
Drive Angry,
great.
This is Drive Angry too.
How dare you?
Raising Arizona is a fantastic movie.
Raising Arizona, I like The Color Out of Space a lot. I think that it's
Color
a really
good.
I think it's a really good kind of. It's a really good Lovecraft, like modern kind of take on a Lovecraft story. Like, I like it a lot. But then there's movies where you can tell they're just like, hey, Nick, you be you, man. You've been in the industry a long time. And then, like, this weird shit happens. And, like, at this point, director's like, oh, well, I mean, we spent all of our money on Nicolas Cage, so I don't have enough. We don't have enough money to do another take. So I guess this is what it is. Like, and like, this is one of those movies where they're just like, hey, Nick. And you can always tell, because those movies, he just plays Nicolas Cage, being Nicolas Cage. He's trying to be more Nicolas Cage than the other Nicolas Cage.
That's why we pay all the big money.
Yeah, well, for this being your first point, John, one of my notes relate to this, because she's one of the characters. Why these women instantly see him and think he's like attractive? Like, they all refer to him as like attractive, and I'm just like, are we watching the same person? Right,
he looks like a damn old work boot. Is
look
what he
at his hair. Just look at his hair. Are we seeing the same person here?
Yeah, no. That's a look that comes with a smell for sure.
Oh.
It's a good description, Dave.
He's like one of those old. Like, he reminds me of like one of those old guys that's like a regular at a bar that tries really hard to look like they're about 40 years younger, but like, you know, they're like, well, I found this stuff at the dollar store, says I just comb it through there, it'll make my hair all the gray out, and it just looks like someone colored it with a highlighter, and like my old dirty clothes, and he's like hitting on all the young girls, you know.
Yeah, well, and to that point, I do think that's something they were trying as far as aesthetics to harp back to those 70s movies, because those 70s movies, there were stunt guys in little wigs because that's who they could afford to have on there. And literally the big guy that Jamie was talking about earlier in the church with the mullet wig on, like that was like 2 sizes too small for his skull.
Oh my God, that was so
hilarious to me.
Oh, it's just very funny.
And then there was the girl who was right next to him, and maybe John, that's who you're talking about, the one who had the, like, black mop rug that was his size, that was falling down in her face the whole time when she's trying to do the stunts.
So good.
So there are those B movie winks, but I don't know that. Maybe it's just my attitude towards the movie. What were you going to say, John?
Do you think they're winks though? I think they just genuinely happened. I don't think they're that.
It wasn't intentional. That's fair.
No, it was not intentional. It just happened.
I'm not sure anything in this movie was intentional. I think,
except Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard in this movie. It's hard to decipher between what's intentional and what just ended up.
What's a competency issue?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
God, this is nothing. You referenced drinking out of the skull of your like enemy, which he does. He ends the movie with. But he also, back to my point about 3D, he like cheers like the camera with it. Like he
the 3D
Just
is
the 3D
so
thing, yeah.
I'm so envious of Eli, who didn't even like it because he saw it in fucking theaters. Like, it's just like
the worst.
It's so corny. This might be one of like the best ones I've seen, like non 3D. That's like, you're just like, this is as bad as like the yo-yo in Friday the 13th.
Oh man.
Like, I just like, there's so much in this, like literally just pointing the gun at you numerous times. Like, there's just so much in this that I'm just like, damn it. I wish I saw this in 3D. I need to rent a theater.
If I remember correctly, this was right around the time of when like real 3D first came out, or it was like the second phase of it. And like, if I remember correctly, because like I notorious don't like 3D movies because like I just don't like the way they look, but like it's like when you started wearing like what almost looks like sunglasses.
Yeah, the black.
And like they did not pop out. Like, I mean, some like do and like whatever. Like if I remember correctly, I don't think like they like even like you could tell something 3D was supposed to happen, but like it just
really, because what
great.
year was My Bloody Valentine? Because that definitely was fucking 3D in 3D in your face 3D.
I mean, it could be the way they calibrate the projector too, but
I wish they would have calibrated right to the fucking dirt, so I didn't have to sit through that.
I will say, if you get a chance to watch powered glasses at like somebody's house or something, it actually works pretty good. Like 3D actually looks good, but yeah, Drive Angry's 3D.
So upset that I didn't see it in 3D. But it's just as much fun watching it in normal D and being like,
imagining
oh my God.
what they're doing.
Yeah, because of just all the stupid fucking shit they just like throw at the screen.
Oh, and it's all the same. It reminded me so much of Friday the 13th 3. Like, I was like,
I mean, it's
so bad.
That's exactly like
malign
it's so bad.
Friday the 13th 3 with this. How dare you?
That's your hallowed ground.
No, but it's like there are definitely pedestals, and this is the outhouse on the way there.
Wow.
Bad.
Listen, man, I am convinced that most of the budget for this movie, 1, went to the 3D, and 2 went to the shitty CGI, because like there are scenes like when he had that like eye wound, we got shot in the eye, and like he's in the car. And they had to have told him, like, hey, man, don't press this. And, like, you could tell because he sticks his hand right on it and, like, does this. And you can see it, like, fucking flapping. And, like, no one was like, Nick, man, no. Remember, don't touch it. And he's just like, yeah.
This is my process.
Yeah, someone touch it, my blonde hair. It's like, it's just, like, things that he does in this movie. You're just like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing, Nick? Because then he was also, like he was like trying to pull the Batman voice in some scenes. It's like, what? Like, I was just waiting for him to be like, you must have friends. Like, I was like, what are we doing? As I was literally, this movie got me to the point where I completely moved all the furniture in my office. It still paid attention enough to realize a great abomination was occurring. Not Antler's level.
Whoa.
But abomination on the same.
Well, this movie, let's be clear, and I think we did, but this movie doesn't really have a plot that needs to be followed. It's a man broke out of hell trying to save granddaughter. With that comes other man trying to hunt him down, cops trying to hunt him down, random chick for no fucking reason with him along for the journey. Done.
It's pretty much Labyrinth with an R rating. That's what this is. It's Labyrinth with an
I feel like it was like if 3 college kids on meth watched The Crow while actively on meth, and then someone came and says, hey, we'll give you more meth if you can write another version of The Crow, and then this is what you got. So the moral of the story is don't do meth, kids.
I'm just saying, it's why like I've seen it so many times in background, because you don't, well, first of all, it's not like I would sit down and watch and pay attention, but like there is no paying attention to this movie. Like you could probably watch this movie with the sound fucking off and still
you would get the point.
Understand what is going on in this movie.
You're gonna want that. You're gonna want that sound on,
because there are some fucking lines. There are some choice lines in this movie. But like, what I'm saying is, like, if I gave you the plot and then gave you the movie and took the sound off, you know exactly what's happening. Like, it's so everybody is so typecast. Like, it's just so obvious. Everybody, the cult leader, fucking Tom Atkins, like everybody is so typecast into their role. It's like insane.
Yeah.
Tom Atkinson is in a Nicolas Cage movie is the only one that has like a freak out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nick Cage doesn't have a freak out.
Nick Cage.
Weird.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I wasn't.
Also, Amber Heard is having enough for the whole fucking movie, constantly. Like
you definitely get a sense that she thinks this is the vehicle that's going to take her next level.
Going to take her,
which is fucking hilarious.
Like she was going to win an Oscar off this. Like her accent from the very beginning. I laughed because I was like, is she trying to do an impression of Jenny from Forrest Gump?
Oh my God.
But then you'll notice it changes throughout the movie because she can't remember what accent she started off with, or B, she barely do it enough to hold it throughout the whole movie.
It's both.
Little column A, little column B.
She is.
I
don't know what she's playing, but she's playing something. It's like I don't know. She's playing role strong woman written by a man, which means all she needs to do is curse and fight, and that makes her and be hot at the same time.
Yeah,
so that
she's their equal. Yeah,
she's
she's an independent woman.
I don't even know if she's a great fighter. What are you talking about? The only person she beat was one naked lady in the streets and one old lady in a van. Everyone else kicked the living shit out of her.
Well, the point is she put up a fight, and she's a tiny little woman, Eli. She's a tiny little blonde pretty thing, and she fucking fought everybody in this movie while yelling about how she's going to fuck everybody up over and over and over again.
She threw that damn woman out the back of an RV and then
jumped out herself.
All I'm saying is, if I was Nicolas Cage and at the end, I'm pretending to die, I'd be like, can anybody else take my granddaughter? Just leave her in a basket here in these ruins and let a field mice come along and raise her in the wild. It'd be better than Amber Heard.
I mean, I can't believe how ready for the role of mom she was. She's like, I'll do it. I'll do it.
That's why I choose you. That's why I chose you when I met you. And I'm like,
you're killing cops. I don't care. Let's just go. I'm such. How quickly she is to kill policemen for someone she fucking met is outstanding.
That's what happens.
I remember thinking that every single time I watch this movie for some reason, that's of all the things in this movie that I'm willing to just ignore because they're so ridiculous. The fact though that she just willingly, without asking questions, are shooting at cops because they're after a stranger that she fucking met.
Yeah,
who's admitted
she knows a bad guy
to being a murderer. Yeah, maybe he admits after that, but he's admitted to being out of prison. He broke out of prison.
The start of her journey is literally
the cops are after.
The start of her journey is literally her coming into consciousness in her car, with 3 states away, with a guy she met in a diner. And she's just like, "Yeah, I'll take you to Louisiana," and I'm like, what?
What? She doesn't make smart choices. She also is willing to marry a man who very blatantly was not a good person.
Well, and to the point about the cop shooting, I literally had an eye roll moment when the whole Rube Goldberg of that situation. She shoots one, spins him around, who literally shoots the other guy. I'm like, come on. That's just really lazy.
Well, it's literally you could tell, like I said, they're trying to get ground, but they were trying to pick up sets some of these, because like I said, Shoot 'em Up. If you like this, Jamie, you should watch Shoot 'em Up. I still swear it's one of Clive Owen's best roles, and they do stuff like that, but it's done so well, and I laugh so I love that movie, but then this was well, we're not going to really setting this up. We're just going to kind of copy some of the stunts. And you got Nicolas Cage blonde hair here. So what more do you need? Well, apparently a lot.
No, that's literally all you need for this.
So as the car guy on the podcast, I do have to ask each of you, did you have a favorite ride throughout the movie? Because I had some classic, iconic muscle cars throughout this entire movie. Anybody have any favorites?
I like the blue one that he doesn't drive. The blue one that he does not pick. He picks the red one, right?
Oh, yeah. So you like the Firebird.
Yeah, that's
I'm not a big muscle car person unless I see What did they drive in Supernatural, Eli?
Malibu. Oh, Impala. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's an Impala.
Yeah. So
a four-door Impala.
Unless I see that show up, I don't care.
I mean, like, the cars were nice. But like, once again, though, the movie's called Drive Angry, and I think we only had two car scenes. One, or I guess we had three, but like the ending one was like super lackluster in that red car, which I like thought he was going to do more with, and like he didn't.
Right.
And like the one on the bridge was like okay, and like the middle one wasn't bad. Like that actually
fully driving movie.
No, really, so it's like just make it like Nick Cage angry. Like call it that. Nick Cage is angry.
Well, I mean, then we have to get a new license plate.
Yeah, exactly. And it won't fit on the license plate. Well, to the point John made earlier, maybe this is a trilogy of movies. Maybe what has happened is Nicolas Cage's character in Gone in 60 Seconds goes to jail for all of the Grand Theft Auto. That's when he becomes Con Air. Then he dies in Con Air, and this is like it's all connected. I love this. It's all the same guy.
I love this.
Why are we trying to tack this on some of the only good movies he did? Why are we trying to do this? That man has a very finite legacy. That's not people making fun of him. Yeah, and like we're gonna tack this on. That's like buying a prize dog and making it wear a shit hat. Like, what are we doing?
I would see plenty of people that have beautiful animals that put shit hats on.
Like, this is crazy. Con Air, like, it was so good.
It's super good.
And then you're tacking this onto the end of Con Air, like,
Don't forget about National Treasure, Eli.
I like the National Treasures.
They're great.
Arguably, I mean, I rewatched them recently. I still love them for the nostalgia because, like, they weren't as like,
they weren't historically accurate enough for you.
No, but like I like those like mystery stuff like that, and like where if you had something like the Da Vinci Code, which I mean, I love my boy Tom Hanks. Arguably, I think he went Nick Cage in it, where like Nick Cage was just the right amount of Nick Cage in National Treasure, where like Tom Hanks was like, I don't know what the fuck that was in the Da Vinci, and then they kept making those movies.
Yeah,
never seen either of these movies.
That was another hairdo that really stood out.
Oh, what? Tom Hanks is like weird,
his mullet,
long-haired mullet thing. Like I said, it was almost like Tom Hanks. They're like, he's like, how do you want me to play this character in Da Vinci Code? And they're like, do you know Nicolas Cage? He's like, yeah, like we want you to be like Nick Cage. But before they could say the movie, like Tom Hanks ran off and like watched all the worst Nicolas Cage movies. I was like, I got it. I want you to make it look like a hay bale or just cut some hair and it just fell on my head.
Love it.
Well, speaking of the hair, one of the funniest things I found was as I was looking at some trivia for this movie is Nick's pitch to the director and producers of this movie when he came on is he wanted to shave his head and have a full skull tattoo. Like that's the look he had in mind, which really tells you all you need to know about his concept for this movie.
Dude.
Which would have been a look and might have been better.
I think it would have been better because like you're supposed to believe he was like this, like, just this hellion of a truck driver and like all this shit, but like it just looked like he was a guy that decided to move to Florida and try to pick up a younger girl. Like that's the look he was going for. Like creepy. I won enough money on a scratch off. I can move to Florida and live on the beach.
He's just looking for, servers at his table. That's all he was interested in. And
he keeps hitting on waitresses. They all
and I think they're probably age appropriate actually for his character, relatively speaking. They weren't that young.
Yeah. Well, and to that point, we have talked around, or we haven't talked at all about one of the biggest scenes of this movie.
Oh my god, the sex
as
scene,
Jamie is our
right?
boob fan, we got to talk about the sex gunfight.
The boobs.
I don't have words for that scene. Like every time I watch this,
imagine that in 3D.
I don't have words. Like I like to those who have not seen this movie, they literally have a full-blown gunfight while he is fucking someone, and that's right. I'm out there because but like. and for comedic and movie purposes, keeps having sex with her while this is
killing
going on.
Around. Yeah.
While she's having a full-blown panic attack, I guess. While this is how we're going to explain this, because I like there's really no other way.
Once again,
what's happening there.
Other movies have done this.
Well, and I have not seen it.
You need to watch. I'm telling you, you need to watch Shoot 'em Up. So good.
Watch porn, Eli.
Shoot 'em Up's not porn. I mean, unless you love Clive Owens.
I was trying to get in there before you said the actual movie. I was trying to make the joke, but then you said the movie, so it didn't work.
Wow. Gotcha. But like this, once again, I've forgotten about this scene. And like when they're doing like, I did. I'm telling you, my mind
all of
tried
the scenes
to block.
of this movie. This is not the one you forget.
My mind
it's burned in my brain.
My mind tried to block out so much of this movie, and like and then with Star, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember now. What I forgot, like the other thing I forgot until I got about 42 minutes into this sex shooting scene, was how like obnoxiously long it was.
Oh yeah,
it's very long, and I mean, there are some things that happen in this, like him getting tased and her,
and like her orgasming. You're like,
what am I watching?
No words for that scene. Like, it's just beyond. It's beyond is like all I can say.
It like, beats Feast. I'll put it that way.
And they're so proud of that scene. You know they are, right? Like they were so proud of that scene. Like they were just like, this is the funniest fucking edgiest, fucking awesomest thing we could
put
in
putting
this
us on the map. Yeah.
People will be talking about this forever.
Yep. And then like even like the enemies, the guys running in, like someone has guns, you're like, okay, and then some start running with sickles, and you're like, well,
dude.
All right. Like then like couple come in like machete, and like not even like a rare one, like one made of duct tape. Like there was so much fucking duct tape on that cattle prod. Then I'm like, they just took a wrapping paper tube and just wrapped it up to make it look like a cattle prod.
I can't believe you didn't even mention where he literally shoots a guy's machete and knocks it in the back into his own head.
Sure
it's amazing. It's
fine.
So good.
It's fine.
It's like.
So good.
So fucking weird. It is just like, it is bizarre. I think it like, I can't. It is above and beyond like the rest of this movie. That scene. Like it really is. Like it's just, it's
like the way they set it up is once again, I'm sure the director was like, well, hey, how about we do this scene? Nicolas is like, no, don't worry about it. Got it. So then the whole time he has no reaction. And he's wearing his sunglasses.
Yes.
And
he's wearing all his clothes, by the way.
Yeah.
So she is completely full naked.
Butt ass
naked. Yeah. And he is completely fully clothed.
And do you remember his line?
I do. Yeah.
He does not disrobe before a gunfight or whatever. It is.
Awesome.
Like that.
Awesome.
And just to complete the picture for our audience who haven't seen this movie, and I feel bad because maybe
don't forget to have all the lights on.
Yeah.
All the lights.
Every light's on. To Jamie's point, she's butt naked, like wrapped around him.
Yeah.
He stands up, fully in her, has a bottle of Jack Daniels in one hand and a revolver in the other. It's like Molly shit in a scene.
And never once does she be like, "Well, what's going on?"
Yeah.
Maybe then, like attack while he's in her.
Like 10 minutes in, like there was a one point he's like shooting and she's like still like going, and I'm like, well, what are we doing here? Listen,
more like,
John,
what aren't we doing?
John, let me help you. All right, you and I, let's sit together. Let's watch Shoot 'em Up. Let me bring you back into the fold of a good one. Okay,
I like Shoot 'em Up too. It's a good movie.
So good. And then there's this. You're just like, this is so
this
sad.
Scene is.
The scene is this movie. Yeah.
It is this movie. And unfortunately, like, all you could, once you see this movie, although somehow Eli didn't remember it, but it's like, this is the scene that's like all you could fucking think about when someone just talks about this movie.
What did I just watch? Yeah.
Because like, it goes for so long. So it's something that they think is so great and so outrageous and so raunchy and so whatever, but it goes for so long. And like that poor girl is suspended from his fucking waist for like, what feels like 10 full minutes of this movie, fucking completely naked, boobs flailing about because she's like, I really want to see the behind the scenes of making that scene because like, is she suspended? Is she on like a harness? Like, does she have this really, really good thigh strength? Is she like one of those like pole dancers that could fucking hang on with like
probably.
Was she uncomfortable by his absolutely no reaction?
Yeah.
At all?
Like, there's so many questions I have about that scene and filming that scene, and more for her. I don't care about anybody else. But,
well, we know Nicolas Cage is a method actor. It may have been all shot in.
Let's be honest. That's what he calls it. I don't know if it's the same.
We don't know what the method is.
Like I would not put him in like the same ring as like Daniel Day-Lewis or anything. You know what I mean? Like I think his whatever his version of method is probably a lot different than what everybody else is.
You know what this movie could have benefited from? So it has lots of boobies. The girl in the beginning is completely fucking naked. This girl is completely naked.
Half the cult members at the end,
half the cult members dancing are naked. It could have benefited from a little more wiener. Like, I think this movie definitely is the movie that could have used wiener, and it would have made it even.
I'm surprised they didn't do a wiener shot.
Yeah, right. Like this movie,
like him shooting somebody in the wiener, or like even like Amber Heard, like being like, doing run, Forrest, run, and like shooting somebody in the wiener or something. Like there was just nothing.
Somebody got kicked in the wiener.
Yeah, but no.
And Jonah would have been perfect for that. But did I miss something? Because they kept referencing that he's.
She bit it off.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, he is actually.
Yeah, his daughter. Yeah,
he bit it off.
Gotcha. Well, we needed to see that. Needed to see Stumpy.
You got to see the mangled.
Yeah, we should have. You're right. We should have seen that somewhere in in the end or something.
Instead of just like
the big reveal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like oh my god, the special effects on that scene. Oh, holy shit, Eli.
I'm telling you, psychedelic scene.
Oh man, that gun. It's got some oomph to it. Like
once again,
light energy, spirit.
You mean like when it looked like she shot him to heaven? It's like, looks like they forgot. Like he like almost like they forgot this movie was about hell, and they're like, oh, like it parts the cloud. And I'm like, what? Is he going to heaven? She literally shot him to heaven, and then it's like, oh wait, blue electricity hell.
But don't worry, his body parts are going to fly at the screen because it's 3D, and we need.
Yeah, that's right. We need that,
but not his wiener.
Yeah,
no,
of course.
We don't need that.
Like piranha.
Well, to use a term that Eli's used before, that whole scene reminded me of an Aldi's version of Constantine.
Yeah, right. Right. This whole movie, you know what? I'm going to take it a step further, Dave.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to take it a step further, right? This whole movie felt like a Five Below The Crow. Like that's what this whole movie felt like.
Like I haven't seen The Crow in a really long time.
Honestly, they almost
like The Crow to me. I don't know.
Rewatch The Crow. They almost 100% took the whole plot from The Crow. Like it is absurdity.
Movie. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like it's almost to a point where like even some of the beats they took, like in terms of like like he's like a tank, and then like something happens and like the guy gets the upper hand, and this time it was like a shillelagh from hell. Like I still don't understand what was so special about that shillelagh, or why he had one, a fucking satanic cult, but he's like our thing is a shillelagh. I have
you're so stuck on it though.
Because it didn't match anything else. Like they had a bunch of guns and sacrificial knives, and like then he whips out.
But it was his daughter's leg bone.
He whips out a Gandalf-sized shillelagh. Yeah, like how tall was she? Fucking 9 feet. Like it was like the longest fucking thing ever. Like, but like, it's crazy. And then like they have the scene, like, he dies on the grave and like he died. Like it is absurd. I'm telling you, they watched The Crow before this and did meth. And then like they wrote Drive Angry.
Everybody's doing meth.
Listen, like I said, this is not egregious level with like Antlers, right? Like I will admit that, But do you know what the most egregious thing I found out about this whole movie was?
What?
The fucking soundtrack. What? Was the soundtrack?
It's really bad. It's really, really
bad. You didn't like the Meatloaf cover at the end?
No, it sounded awful.
Really
and then like that for that 92-minute sex scene. What the like? It's almost like they went to a Beavis and Butthead episode where like they're in their garage going da, 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 with their mouths. They're like, we can turn that into a song. Like every song in this movie was atrocious. Like even the scene, like when Amber Heard's driving, and like
that was the worst. That was the worst one.
Movie I've seen this song in is Jackass Part 2.
You've seen that song in another movie? Because
just Jackass Part 2. And it was because it was during, like, the one guy from Jackass does that, like, that stripper character.
Yeah, I love him. Chris Pontius. It's Party Boy. I used to work for MTV, and I worked on Jackass.
They played that during, like, I think it was Jackass Part 2, when he's in Japan and he's, like, dancing on people. That's the only other. It was for Jackass. That was funny because it's like Jackass. For this, I'm like, who fucking drives this muscle car singing that fucking song? Like, why did they choose that song?
Yeah, why did they choose like a rock or like
anything else?
Anything else? It's so
silence.
Bad.
Her just driving in silence would have been better. Than like every time music came on, I would literally go, motherfucker. Like, because it would make me irrationally angry.
The music is really bad. It really, like, every time a song came on, it did not fit. It just was either like too on the nose with a terrible song, but too on the nose. It's like they literally had to describe what's happening in the song, but like with a terrible song, like a terrible choice. It's rough. This movie, whoever did it's
I'm convinced whoever picked the music for this has never heard music. They literally just like looking at titles on a sheet and they're like, well, where I grew up, music is a sin. They're like, well, just listen, man, you're the music guy. Just pick something. He's like, I'm just titles, random. Let's do this one.
This one's about driving. This one's about hell.
You want to have Amber Heard listen to a song about sucking on my titties, like in a muscle car? Is that what that song's about? I haven't heard it. I don't have ears. Like, it's terrible. Terrible.
Well, you know, some of the music in this was actually produced by Nick Cage's son.
That explains everything. That explains everything.
Oh my God.
Because he used to be in a bunch of black metal bands, and he actually produced the song Drive Angry for this.
Listen, nice. I already forgive him. Because could you just imagine fucking genetic lottery and you pull a ticket to be fucking Nicolas Cage's son, who even in his movies, when you think he can't be weirder, is somehow 90 times weirder in real life.
Yeah,
like that kid never had a chance to do anything normal.
If he functions at all, he's a win.
The fact that he is upright, breathing still, and not like, I don't know, trying to replace his leg with chicken legs is a win.
Oh my God. What a great movie.
Super. Everybody go home. When you get home tonight.
It's a bad movie, so that's what everybody needs to know. But it's for John and I, it's so bad it's good. And again, I personally don't have a lot of those. I feel like John, you have a lot of those where you say it. Like, I don't know. I don't personally like. There's this really fine line, and it's like it's either just bad, and I'm like, but it's not funny because it's so bad. I think this is one of those fine ones for me, where it's so bad that it's fucking funny.
I don't listen, Jamie. I don't hold it against you because notoriously, I'm the guy that's known for, like, when I want to put something on the background, it's no matter what time of year, it's either Hubie Halloween.
Which I still haven't seen.
Or Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Honestly, Eli, I can't.
I don't know why. I love Paul Blart Mall Cop.
You know, Paul Blart is one of the only movies I've ever turned off. Like, I couldn't.
Do you know?
I couldn't.
I went and saw that in theaters.
Eli.
4 times.
Eli.
4 times. I loved it so much. And then I was so excited when they were doing Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
Oh my God.
And it was the biggest piece of shit. And now I pretend it doesn't exist. But still in my mind, one of the funnest scenes of movie, in my top 10 funnest scenes, is when he's playing Guitar Hero when he thinks the mall is closed. I don't know why. It struck me. So I'm not going to hold this against you for being like this, like your bad movie. I won't hold that against you because, like, I'm sitting on Paul Blart Mall Cop and Halloween.
It's hurting me that you're. I don't care about the Hubie Halloween thing. I haven't seen it, and I like Adam Sandler. But the Paul Blart thing,
Jamie, I don't understand it myself. I like to consider myself as someone who has taste, much experience in film. I've seen many, really deep dive into it. But for whatever reason, I don't understand when I'm having a bad day or like I'm working on homework or something, and I'm like, well, I just watched Hubie Halloween yesterday. Guess I'm watching Paul Blart today. Like, I don't understand it myself, but like, so that's why I won't hold this against you, Jamie. I would never. Truthy gang still strong. I'm not going to hold this against you because we all have the skeletons in our closet. Yours is just bleach blonde, shittily dyed Nick Cage, and mine's Paul Blart. So like, I won't hold it against you.
I don't know if it's as much cage as sex gunfights that Jamie.
The sex gunfight. I just can't with the sex scene. The sex gunfight. Oh my god.
Well, and
it's.
And I will say, you know, and I'm being serious. I don't see me ever putting this on for any reason whatsoever. But now that we've all seen it, like we've completed the loop, I do appreciate that we have these internal memes that we can reference. And that's what these kind of movies are good for, is like seeing something that was so WTF that you have to talk about it, kind of thing. So the fact that we
a lot with these movie choices.
Yeah, the blocks have been solid.
We're 8 movies in, and we've seen some WTF moment.
We've had some experiences together. So, anything else on Drive Angry?
Yeah, I'm just glad I never have to watch again.
Until we strap you down in a rented out theater and we watch it in 3D.
I'm just telling you now, you better make sure those restraints are tight and that my mouth is gagged, because when I get out of that sumbitch, I'm gonna be mad.
This one will be first. Piranha's the encore. Piranha's like the
exactly.
Closer,
yeah, I was thinking,
Jamie,
what's going to happen is, and we'll put it on the record right now so that people can reference it when it happens. When we get to our 10-year anniversary, we have all of our audience come into a central city. We're going to do a 3D viewing, and it's going to be this movie, Piranha, and Friday the 13th, Part 3.
That's a good.
I'll be there for Friday the 13th, but I'm going to be running late for the other two.
Sorry, the doors are locked after the screening begins.
Once again, just try to keep me out.
I bought Dave, the second day of the horror convention, I went back and I got that guy that did was doing the alternative movie posters. I bought the Friday the 13th 3D one because it is in my apartment color scheme, which is purple and teal and black. Mm-hmm. And it was purple, teal, and black with minor red accents, but I could not pass that up because it was purple, teal, and black. John was with me. And it's now hanging in my living room frame. But I did a whole thing with it where I tried to 3D it because it's a 3D. Cool. You know what I'm trying to say? Like I tried to 3D the poster because it's a 3D. Just basically put it off the backdrop. Mm-hmm. So that it's and it looked fantastic. And then yesterday I'm standing out here and I looked at my living room and it fell. Not off the wall, but it fell in the frame. So now I have to fucking mount it so that it's 3D again because it's in a weird, it fell to the corner. And I'm like, but I want to say it's a pretty cool. The fact that it is in purple and teal and is Friday the 13th, Part 3, which I do fucking love, and we've done together, was just it is too perfect not to buy it and put it in the middle of my living room because it just hits all the.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I remember us talking about it when we saw it in the booth. We're like,
I went back and got it the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's for sure.
You gotten your,
good.
I was just going to ask her, have you gotten your Jane autograph framed? And
not yet. It's not framed yet, but
yeah, that was a cool story too.
Framing because I'm going to frame that with, side note, I'm framing that with, I still saved the Fangoria cover when Evil Dead 2013 came out. And it's her splitting her tongue. So I'm going to frame it, the signed picture with that underneath the cover of Fangoria underneath it.
Very cute story. We won't keep it too much longer. But while we're at this horror convention up in New Jersey, Jane Levy's there. It's one of the main things that Jamie's looking forward to the whole time. So we go to the Q&A. She does a great job. It's sort of Evil Dead 2013. It's her and... what did you call him, Eli? The plank kid. Glasses.
Plank.
Yeah,
plank with glasses. Yeah.
Plank with glasses.
So they're both up there, and she's totally not into the whole horror scene. It's pretty clear that she's not into the whole horror thing, but she's been signing autographs for the last 3 days. So we leave, and Jamie's trying to decide, do I go down and get her autograph? So we went down to the hall where all the autographs were happening, and there was no line at hers. And Jamie jumps at the opportunity, goes up there, introduces herself, tells her what a big fan is. And Jane's really welcoming from what I heard. I wasn't there. I wasn't at the table when Jamie went up there. But then Jamie says, I'd love to get an autograph. Tells her how to spell her name because Jamie knows that her spelling is different than what you would think. And she starts to write it. And from what Jamie said, her heart started to fall because she saw her spell it wrong right after she had told her. And Jamie said, "I'm sorry, but that's not how you spell it." And Jane looked up at her and said, "And you just fucking told me that too." Rewrote it.
So bad. But then I was just like, I cannot go home with an autograph to me that I got. Like, it's one thing Dave got it for me and like didn't know how to spell my name. Totally fine. Like, whatever. But like, I can't sit there and let someone sign my name. And my sister's standing next to me and I look at her and I'm just like, I don't.
What do I do?
I don't. This is my people pleaser thing in me. Like, I know I'm like a bitch. I come off as a bitch and I am a bitch and whatever, but you can ask my sister. I have this real, like this severe problem with pleasing people I don't know. Like I could fucking be mean to my sister, my parents, whatever, and tell them straight up.
Especially people you look up to.
Like. Exactly. They don't fucking do whatever. But like, yeah, like, but people, like, I was just like, my heart, I was just like, do I tell her? What do I do? Do I tell her? Do I let her just spell my name however she wants? She could write fucking James on there. I don't know. It just doesn't fucking matter. I told her and she crumpled it. Like in anger, she like crumples it.
Damn it!
Fun, but yeah.
So she and Jane had a moment,
and she did write "feast on this motherfucker" as a signature, which is great.
It sounds like you and I have the same problem if we get around famous people, where like part of our brain just shuts down. The con was here in the city once, and I went into a Sheetz because there's this tea that you can only get Sheetz here, and now I can't find it anywhere, and it depressed me. But so like I would go in these Sheetz all the time. Sheetz is the gas station for people not around here.
Yeah, it's a Wawa knockoff
or a Buc-ee's or something, or whatever. But so like I would go in, and like if I would go in, I wouldn't see a lot, and people were kind of looking at it. I'd always get this like mean mug, like, yeah, go ahead, grab that last one. Go ahead, I dare you. You know, get in my territory. Well, so the one day I went in to do this, and there was this tall motherfucker standing in front of the glass, like looking at TV or that tea, and he kept pulling some out, looking at stuff, and I'm like trying to like crowd around him a little bit so I could see if my flavor was left. And I wasn't paying attention, and he went to turn around and walk away, and I went right into him, and it was the wrestler Kane because he's at the con, and I was like, and so I like looking, I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. He's like, oh no, it's fine. I was like, oh, I'm really sorry. He's like, no, don't worry about it. I'm like,
you like take my tea?
And I was trying to say like, oh, I'm a fan. I was like, I'm really sorry. He's like, yeah, I get it. So I thought he left. And I'm like, did I just walk into Kane? Like, I was like, I don't know. So like, I go up to the counter, like my tea was still there. And I grabbed a bunch of balls, counter, and like the Lussier, I was like, hey, is that the wrestler Kane? I'm pretty sure it's for him. The girl's like, who? I'm like, you know, WWF, like he was wrestler Kane, like, you know, the big red machine, like choke slam, and like I'm doing this. She's like, I don't like, there's a lot of people in here, man.
Just
and I'm
buy
like,
your tea.
I'm like, listen, I'm just trying to figure out that was Kane. She's like, dude, she's like, I don't fucking know. And I was like, okay. So I checked her around. He was right in fucking line behind me, looking at me like I was gonna sniff his luggage. And I never left a gas station so fast in my life.
Yeah.
Did he at least say, yeah, dude, it's me, please?
No, I think he may have, if I had left it at the first time trying to convince the person behind the counter that that's who I thought I ran into. But I think when like I was basically holding the line hostage, trying, because like I knew that's who he was, but I just wanted some sort of confirmation because my brain was like shorting out a little bit. I think by that point he was like, well, this is uncomfortable for all of us.
He might cut some of my hair off and take it home with it.
Yeah. I also did that once at convention. The first time I ever saw Tom Savini, and he was like walking around with like his kid, and like I was like, that's Tom Savini. Like, oh my God, it's Tom Savini. Like, should I go up and say something? Or maybe I shouldn't with his kid. And like I didn't realize as I was like saying it, I was getting excited and it was speaking louder. And then I turn and look, and he's like staring at me like, what the fuck is happening over there? Because like there's just some kid who's loudly saying his name over and over again. And I was like, well, I bid you adieu. Like that's it for me.
Bye, Tom Savini.
I have multiple stories of that, and it's always the same thing. Like it's just like a part of, and I like to consider myself intelligent, but it's like a part of my brain turns into drive angry, and I just don't make fucking any sense, and I just do dumb shit.
You just like, and I don't. Celebrities don't like do it for me, but like then there's like the one you want, and then you get surprised. Like I always say, like, oh, this, you know, I met Tim Burton, I cried, I didn't get any words out because it was Tim Burton, and you would for some reason, similarly, I got the same way when I met the Bella twins. Don't fucking ask. I don't know. But that's the thing is like, you think you don't give it. You're just like, whatever. And then like, you know, and Jane Levy, for all intents and purposes, I mean, I love the movie. It probably could have been someone else. It's not like I'm a huge Jane Levy fan. It's like, but that movie is one of my movies and like, whatever. And she is fantastic in it. But I'm just saying like, you know, but still you get up there, you just like act like a moron. And I'm just like, and I feel like I do it all the time. Like I met, you know, Art the Clown. He doesn't even speak. And I acted like a fucking moron and was just like, my dog, because I had Sari with me. I'm just like, and you just speak in weird, and I'm just like,
Please.
I don't know what I'm doing right now. Like,
Mary
he
and I
doesn't even
went,
speak, and I'm acting like,
trust me, because Mary, the same tote, like Mary went, we went to a sign because she wanted to get Dustin Saw, whatever the fuck his name is. Devin, whatever. And I could give 3 shits less. And he was like, oh, hey, how you doing? I was like, what's up, bro? I didn't care. But, you know, I ran to Canadian gas station and made a little bit of a scene.
So drive angry, huh?
The worst.
Fair enough.
Thumbs up.
So obviously I don't have a Dave's Critter Corner. I'm glad we had this little side conversation because there's no animals in this, nothing really that I want to extend on.
Yeah, there aren't, right? Nothing?
No animals.
Just whatever's on top of fucking Nicolas Cage's head.
I mean, there's a bull that's being grabbed by the balls, but that's really that's really all that's going on here. So we do appreciate you listening. Again, as I said when we finished Jamie's as well, I am also sincerely thankful that John has given us this shared memory that we have now. I've had a blast. Haven't liked, I think of these, I've only liked one of the movies, but that wasn't really the point. And John said that at the first movie. The point wasn't for him to pick his favorite movies, just movies he thought it'd be really fun to talk with us. And I think we've accomplished that. I think mission accomplished, John. We had a good time.
Yeah.
So we will be moving into our next block, and that's by our boy Eli. So anything you want to tease, I know you're not going to tell them what's coming. Any teasing that you want to do?
Listen. All I'll say is, like that annoying song that for some reason gets played at Christmas, they're just a few of my favorite things.
Oh, okay.
Like, where are you going? Because you don't even like Christmas.
See, I don't, but like I just picked a few of my favorite things. And then I even try to pick some stuff that might be a little silly, you know, that people might like. Some that traumatized me because there was a point of when I turned one of these on late at night and I thought it was real and I was like, what the fuck's happening? It's here, it's finally happening. Whatever.
So Martyrs, got it.
Yeah.
Nope, not Martyrs. That movie. Everybody likes that. That's like
overrated.
Yeah, I've never seen it. Never seen it.
Oh, Eli. We need to discuss that movie. It's so overrated.
I don't get it. Like everybody's like, it's so, and I'm like,
no.
All right.
Anyway, it's nothing. That movie's nothing.
One that which is kind of directly because of Jamie, because when she picked one of her movies and it said she hadn't seen the other one, and like I love this film. Dave, I think you love it too. I was like, oh, let me show you my summer child. I'm
very excited. Actually, I've been waiting to watch it, but like now I've been obviously waiting until.
I am looking forward to that conversation for sure. Yeah. So you have that
right before.
Oh, you're not going to watch them. You're not going to prep it all.
No, I mean, like what I'm saying is like, I knew it was coming. Like I like to watch them right before we discuss. So I've been like waiting for us to get to Eli, like to get to that movie.
Oh, you've
so
got a lot of pent up energy.
Because because like I know it's there, but I also won't like watch it now because I like whatever we're discussing to be super fresh.
Yeah.
In my brain.
Yeah, I think you're going to dig that one too. I think Eli's right, but we'll find out. So thank you for listening tonight. I hope you enjoyed the episode. This is what we do. 1 week you're going to get a movie review, and then the next week you're going to get a Campfire Tales from Eli and the crew that may or may not have anything whatsoever to do with the movie we just watched. You never know. You got to roll the dice and see what you get. If you like the episode, we do ask you to subscribe, rate the show. If you subscribe, you'll get notifications when we put out new episodes. We've been pretty consistent. They come out on Mondays. So that's when you can see us or listen to us. You can visit our website, thewickedwild.com, where there's some details there that is getting a little, honestly, the website has gone to seed a little bit. I haven't put up any new reviews because everybody on this podcast has got a lot of life stuff happening right now, so we're just keeping the wheels on the train right now. But
I think we're doing good at that, though. We're doing
good. Yeah,
we're here. We show up.
The fact that we're doing what
I know
we're doing,
Eli had a minor blip, but he's here. You know, we're here. Yeah. We show up.
Still doing Campfire Tales.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. We got Jeff showed back up. You know, we're like, you know.
Yeah. If you all knew everything that was going on, the fact that you get an episode every single week and we haven't missed any shows just how much we love you. Let's be honest.
Very fair.
Trying to indoctrinate you. Exactly. Whatever.
That's a form of love, right?
Yeah, that's what I tell people.
I mean, sure.
And if you want to show a little love back, we would appreciate that. Give us a 5-star review. Give us some comments. If you want to follow us and get engaged in the conversation, you can do that on any of our social media. We're on X at Wicked While We Are, Slasher at Wicked While We Are, Instagram at Wicked While Pod, or if you just need to see our smiling faces while we have these fun conversations, you can always find us on YouTube. Just search the Wicked While Podcast and you'll find us there. If you have any feedback, comments, anything you want to share, anything you want to ask us or tee up for us to converse or fight upon the podcast, you can always send me an email, podcast, podcast, at thewickedwild.com. And that's everything I got. Anybody else have anything they need to talk about? Any other things in the works that you want to tease out?
Just don't trust your computers, people. That's all I'm saying. AI is here. Skynet is coming. Be careful.
Hey, John.
Don't watch Antlers. What's up?
I was just going to ask John, if he knows what somebody who is hateful to cars is called in a movie like Drive Angry. What do you call somebody who's hateful to cars?
I don't know, but I have a feeling you're going to tell me.
It's a carburetor.
Oh, my gosh. Just stop it.
Oh, man, that's such a good one.